So you were mentioning obstacles, and that was actually on my journaling today before our chat. I wanted to ask, so because we got into this in the other episode a little bit, because there's that weird dynamic between free will and fate, right? So
Mhm.
it's hard to definitively say anything, but do you feel like obstacles or what seems to be a mishap, like, are there mistakes? Like, does the universe make mistakes? Or God, or whatever you want to call it, source, um, the programmer in the sky, are there
Mhm.
mistakes, or is there usually a purpose or for these things?
I think the way I see it, and it's half numerology, half intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was really deep into these questions years ago until I kind of figured out what I believed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think when we think about fate, we usually think about it when we make a decision that we weren't sure about. We took a risk, or like we didn't even, or like maybe we made a decision out of fear and we should have done, like we feel like we should have done the other one, but on the path that we ended up, you see these insane serendipities where like things fall into place so perfectly, and then you're like, well, if I had done that, like I wouldn't have found this or this or this, like
Mm-hmm.
so like it's almost like this was meant to be the choice that I made. And you think about it, you're thinking about that fate question from your perspective. Is like, I made this choice and I found these really beautiful things, so like how could I, like how could a dimension exist where I didn't make these choices? But what I think is really happening is that a human being has free will, but the universe is always organizing around you. So if you go here, like the universe will organize here,
Mm-hmm.
and if you go here, the universe will organize here. So it's like, um, no matter what you do, the order will be there because there is like this feedback is like, okay, you decided to come here based on these things that you knew. I want you to understand this instead. Why not? Like, I think you need this experience based on that choice you made in order to like come to where I want you to come.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you measure in terms of numerology, like instead of being like specific events that are predestined, oh, like you were supposed to get divorced this year, or
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to like make a career change this year. It's like, here's the theme of the year. It's like, think about your life in this way, and you make this choice, and the universe will organize around the choices you make, but still giving that theme back to you. So if the theme is selfish versus others, and you make XY choice, you're gonna get those lessons regardless of what choice you make. You could go over here, you could go over here, but like the order is still present because you can't escape that little bubble of like perfection where like you're gonna be given what you need to evolve, regardless of what choice you make.
Mm-hmm. No,
Does that
yeah.
make sense?
No, it does make sense. So, this is going to be like a silly example, but it's just like one of those when we were talking about serendipity. I was just at a Jamie Wheel event earlier this spring, and he was saying that he thinks it's kind of like the black cat in the Matrix. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
like his analogy for serendipity. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a hint of sorts, I guess. Like pay attention to this. So I had just put my toddler down for a nap, and I was exhausted because I'm again like getting over this cold. So I finally lay down. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I never nap. So it's like a big win for me if I feel like I'm gonna be able to sleep during the day. And then I have this older dog, and she starts barking down the stairs. I was like, you gotta be kidding me! And I can't like ignore her because she'll pee in the house because she's 12. So I was like, okay, I have to go down 2 flights of stairs. It's freezing outside, and there goes my nap because the cold air is going to just wake me back up. So I was really disgruntled, and I'm like stomping down the stairs, and I'm like, let's go, lady. And we go out, and there's this lady parked right in my driveway. And I was like, well, this is weird. So I thought maybe it was like a Whole Foods delivery or something. So I went to scoot around her, and she's like, wait, I hate to trouble you, but I'm a realtor, and I wanted to know if you know if anyone's selling in this. So we have this, we live in a townhouse, like a small townhouse community, and people have been trying to poach these for since they were built. Like, just no one's selling them. Everyone wants them. They can't get them. So she's like, do you know if anyone's selling? And I was like, we're actually planning on listing in February. And she's like, oh my gosh, I have multiple buyers. They really need to get in. Like, how soon can you be out? I was like, well, we're in a reno right now. I don't even know. Like, do you have a card? So she gives me her card and she already has multiple buyers. I was like, we didn't even have to list. We just sold the house because my old dog had to go out. And I was super stressed because we just got this reno. We've never renoed before. And
Mhm.
because labor is so high, the expected price was doubled. So I was stressing out about selling this place and getting into that place. And what if we can't find a buyer? And all of these worries that you just self generate. And then here is this woman in my driveway. And I was like, how? Like, you can't plan that. And I don't know. Again, silly example, but one of those things where it just makes you scratch your head a little bit. And you're like, if I didn't do that
Yeah.
one thing.
I mean, I think that event would not take place if your worry about selling it was actually that deep.
Oh,
You
interesting.
might have been like worried at like a brain level, like, oh, what am I going to do? But like those events happen when people are at peace and like they understand that like that's not a big deal.
Mm,
Because when you make it a big deal with your mind, you're creating like the problem, I think.
mhm.
Or like
Yeah.
because the universe is trying to teach you like flow. It's okay.
Mhm.
And the closer you are to that, the easier events like that might happen. So I just like I bet that even if you say you were worried, that you and Eric weren't like that concerned. Otherwise, a manifestation like that wouldn't have taken place.
Well, Eric's never concerned. He's the most optimistic guy I've ever met in my life. Like if he wanted to be an astronaut tomorrow, he would somehow figure it out. Like that's just the type of person he is. Meanwhile, I'm like that is so unrealistic. I'm this old. Like I'm out of shape. It wouldn't, you know what I mean? I would come up with all of these reasons why I couldn't be an astronaut. And he's like, I'll do it next year. I'll be up there in the moon. Or on the moon. So yeah, we're very different personalities in that regard. Maybe he balanced. Maybe the lady in the driveway was him. Maybe that was like just his energy from
Maybe,
Vegas right now.
yeah.
Um,
But I still think that you're in a happy place. So
yeah.
I don't think, yeah, I think you could have blocked it if it was otherwise.
Oh yeah. Totally.